Intro, epic music, visuals of pyramids, deserts, hieroglyphs. Before the pyramids, before Tutankhamun, before Ramses the Great, there was one man who started it all. His name was Narmer, and over 5,000 years ago, he united Upper and Lower Egypt into the very first dynasty. But who exactly was Narmer? Was he a conqueror, a diplomat, or even a mythical figure? Today, we're uncovering the story of Egypt's first pharaoh, and the birth of one of the greatest civilizations in history. Setting the scene, maps of ancient Egypt, split into Upper and Lower Egypt. To understand Narmer's importance, we need to travel back to around 3100 BCE. Egypt wasn't yet a single kingdom. Instead, it was divided into two regions. Upper Egypt in the south, the land of the lotus. Lower Egypt in the north, the land of the papyrus. For centuries, these two regions fought for dominance. The fertile Nile Delta in the north and the narrow Nile Valley in the south each had powerful rulers, traditions, and even crowns. And then, along came Narmer. Who was Narmer? Archaeological reconstructions, images of artifacts. Narmer is often identified with another legendary figure, Menes, the man remembered by later Egyptians as their very first king. While some scholars believe Narmer and Menes were the same person, others argue Menes was his successor. What we do know for sure is that Narmer's name appears on some of the oldest inscriptions in Egyptian history, marking the beginning of the first dynasty. The Narmer Palette, close-ups of the Narmer Palette in Cairo Museum. Our biggest clue about Narmer's life comes from one extraordinary artifact, the Narmer Palette. This 2-foot-tall ceremonial stone shows Narmer wearing two crowns, the white crown of Upper Egypt on one side, the red crown of Lower Egypt on the other. It's a powerful symbol, Narmer as the ruler of a united Egypt. On the palette, we also see him smiting his enemies, towering above captured foes. This imagery wasn't just art, it was propaganda. It told the people, Narmer is chosen by the gods to rule all Egypt. Unification of Egypt, show maps shifting from two lands into one. But how exactly did Narmer unite Egypt? Some historians believe it happened through military conquest, Narmer leading Upper Egypt to victory over Lower Egypt in bloody battles. Others suggest a more gradual process, alliances, marriages, and trade slowly blending the two kingdoms until Narmer formalized the union. Either way, Narmer's rule marked a turning point. Egypt was no longer just a collection of farming villages along the Nile. It had become one of the world's first centralized states. Symbols of power, visuals of crowns, hieroglyphs, temples. Unification wasn't just political, it was symbolic. The crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt were merged into the double crown, or Pes Chent. The two plants, the lotus and the papyrus, became symbols of Egypt united. Narmer's very name may have symbolized unity. Nar, meaning catfish, and Mer, meaning chisel. Together, they represented strength and craftsmanship, tools for building a new nation. Narmer's legacy, pan across ruins, Nile landscapes, reconstructed palaces. Under Narmer, Egypt began the tradition of strong kingship. He established Memphis, near modern Cairo, as a capital, perfectly located between Upper and Lower Egypt. He also set the stage for Egypt's long tradition of divine kingship. The pharaoh wasn't just a ruler, he was a living god, the link between people and the divine. Every pharaoh that followed, whether building pyramids or leading armies, owed something to Narmer. Without his unification, there would be no Egypt as we know it. Mysteries and debates, archaeologists digging, scholarly texts, but despite his importance, Narmer remains a mysterious figure. We don't know exactly how he died, or even where he is buried. Some suggest Abydos, the sacred burial site of Egypt's earliest kings. Others believe his tomb has yet to be discovered. And then there's the debate, was Narmer truly Menes, the man later Egyptians celebrated as their founder? Or was Menes someone else entirely? The mystery remains unsolved. The big picture, sweeping aerial shots of the Nile, pyramids, temples. Think about this. Narmer lived over 1,000 years before the pyramids were built. He lived more than 2,000 years before Tutankhamun. Yet his decision to unite Egypt shaped history for millennia. By bringing the two lands together, Narmer didn't just create a kingdom. He created one of the longest-lasting civilizations the world has ever seen. Outro. Inspiring music, fade to black with hieroglyphs. So, was Narmer a warrior king, a master diplomat, or a figure later wrapped in legend? Whatever the truth, he stands at the dawn of history as the man who forged Egypt into a single nation. The first pharaoh. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Which ancient ruler should we cover next?